See, how you feeling? See you in the morning, too.
Yeah, I'll give you time.
Yes, sir.
So Brian gonna be with you still?
Yes.
How you doing?
I didn't get any. Right.
All right, Council.
What's this thing?
Hey.
Man, it's tough. How you doing? In control. Oh.
I gotta know you was here.
Yeah,
They got your number this year, don't they?
so yeah, I'll stop by. I'm in town. I got the
Yeah, you told me. Nick, would you close that door for me?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. We call this special call meeting to order. The purpose of this call meeting is to discuss and final public works contract. Some of you have roll call.
Chapman,
Present.
Bedford, Wilson, Bose, Sebastro,
Present.
Chastain,
Here.
Lennon.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, you have in front of you the agenda for the evening. We have 5 items. Well, 4 items. We do not have executive session. That is the only change. Is that right, Judge?
Yes, Mayor, there will not be an executive session tonight. There is no need for an executive session.
So we have 4 items on the agenda tonight to deal with. Can I get a motion to accept those 4 items for this special call meeting?
Motion to accept.
Second. Alderman Chastain, second by Alderman Chapman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Judge?
First item on the agenda is to approve decline contract for the operations and maintenance of the water, sewer, natural gas system, as well as the streets and drainage systems and other systems for the city of Moss Point, and First Amendment to the contract for the operations and maintenance of water, sewer, natural gas systems, as well as the streets and drainage systems and other systems for the city of Moss Point, submitted by Mayor Billy Knight Sr.
I will say, gentlemen, before you vote, I would like, if you don't mind, to have an open meeting from the standpoint of having, we have our Clearwater owners here. And we also have Nick here, which is our financial consultant. And we have Steve here that helps us with the contract. So as we go through this process, and discussion mainly will be among us. But if some question come up that Judge or I can't answer, then one of these gentlemen are prepared to help us with that.
Yeah, and as introductory remarks, you've received the contract. It's been a laborious process, but we've got to this point today. Several meetings ago, we approved the service contract amount, which is on page 32 there. We received input from our financial consultants in March and included some of their recommendations in water meter reading, utility billing. And I will note that today I received also some requested additional items to be included in the contract from our financial consultants. I've talked to Steve, who's here. Reached out to Paul, but he was boarding a plane to come down, and we met briefly beforehand. So we anticipate a second amendment coming because most of those things are not going to be a problem, and they're good things. The bottom line is, overall, so the board will know that when you look at the current costs that we've been paying under the existing contracts for both ROs as well as public works, then you compare it to the budget, what we're getting now for the service only contract, adding back the fact that we will purchase the equipment as well as the chemicals at the RO plant, we believe that this is the savings to the city overall. And so I thank Nick for being here and his guidance. Can't say enough about our engineer, Steve, who's been with us throughout, drafted the RFP, has worked with us on this. But I do want to just, you've had it, I know you probably read it already, but under the contract, under the RFP process, we anticipated the city purchasing the equipment. And I didn't ask you if I could stand. I hope that's okay for me doing it this way, because I wanted Alderman Chapman to be able to hear me over there. But we anticipated, the RFP anticipated the city purchasing the equipment. And some time passed, we asked Clearwater to identify, because the RFP contemplated during the contract negotiation process that that equipment will be identified and purchased by the city. Of course, the city is not, has to be selective and careful with money because we're on a tight budget. And so thanks to Nick and Sue and Butler Snow, they consulted with me, and I talked to Troy Johnson and Sue on Monday, that we can use the tax item 2 on the agenda tonight. We'll take up and talk about the tax modernization use money that we will be able to use to purchase equipment that the city will own for the servicing of this contract. But Steve and I will accept any questions. Of course, Clearwater's representatives are here and our financial consultants here. The mayor on the contract itself, we appreciate the input of our financial advisors as well as our engineers and everybody, the negotiation team, and of course you, Mayor, for your hard work.
So we had item 2.1.
Yes, sir. The total, when you look at the cost of it, the bottom line for all services identified in the contract is $2,104,082.04. That's the base fee per year under this contract.
Discussion, study of 2.1 with
Yes, sir.
discussion board members. Motion.
Make a motion that we approve item 2.1 regarding the maintenance contract.
I just had a question.
Yes, sir.
Make sure I had the right understanding. Is there an extra fee per month for the use of the equipment?
Yes, thank you for that question, because the amendment number 1 was necessary to allow us to have time to purchase the equipment. And the good thing is, without having to go through, Nick and Sue were prepared for us to go through to do the loan, bid for a loan. We don't have to do that now, so we can immediately, when Tricia gets back, we can work with her and Crystal to begin the purchasing process. And I talked to Kristen and Amber on Saturday. They've looked at there's 2.3 million in that tax modernization account, some of which has been committed on some of our match money for an I-10 corridor project, I believe. But we have at least 600,000. And I would point out that Amendment 1 must, that as part of the motion, it would be for the adoption of that first amendment too. So that would be in his motion. And Alderman Wilson, when you look at that, there's an exhibit to Amendment 1 that lists the equipment that Clearwater equipment that they will use while this Amendment 1 is in existence. And that fee is listed in the contract at, I believe it was $23,850 per month. And in the past, Clearwater had built that into their contract price for the use of this equipment. We're doing it different now because we're going to be purchasing the equipment. And so yes, sir, there would be that additional cost, but that will only last as long as we can do the purchasing of the equipment that we're going to buy. The Clearwater identified equipment to us, and they included we asked them to identify the equipment that they're already using here. that is used, in addition to what equipment you would need us to buy. And so they provided that value of their used equipment and the new equipment that they suggested we buy. It's around $560,000. So some equipment we may can buy used, some we'll have to buy new. We'll look and see what's available in state contracts, and so forth to do the best we can to be good stewards to buy the needed equipment at the best possible price, whether that's new or gently used. But we'll have to follow the state purchasing laws to do that. But you're right. Amendment 1 does contemplate for at least a short time that additional price per month as they use their equipment during this short time that we will need to purchase the equipment.
The other reason we need this short period of time is because state law requires us to go through the bid process. You can't just buy equipment without, or rent, or lease
Right.
equipment without going through the bid process.
When you're leasing or purchasing, you still have to go through that process. And I did consult the state auditor's office to make sure we're doing this the right way. And we are.
Second.
Mayor, I had was that a second?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to briefly explain something. As you all know, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but I've had several comments over the course of this whole process going back to last July and some concerns that I raised. Still have those concerns, but I understand this is about to pass. And I just want to say I wish you much success, Steve, and the company. I'm for it. I'm for you. I hope you are successful here. I know I've raised several issues and it's been kind of contentious at times, and I believe they're valid, and I believe that's something important that we should do. I'm going to vote no because, and I want to take this opportunity just to explain that. If having raised all the issues that I've raised for the last several months, Mayor, if I had, in my opinion, participated in negotiations or voted yes today, I'd be kind of a hypocrite. It'd be like I didn't believe the things I was saying. And it's not personal. I'm not attacking anyone personally. I just believe there were some flaws in our RFP in the process, and that we didn't exactly follow the RFP, and some other things. Could have been some procurement violations. And that's not a jab at our attorney. He's leading us, and I just would rather be safe. So I think voting no will insulate me from any potential problem that might come up after the fact. Because if we are questioned about this, we can all be questioned. That sort of thing normally happens after the action is taken, not during negotiations. So if there's something still to come, I respect the vote of this board. I want to work with all you guys. Appreciate. I also want to say I appreciate the work of our original review committee, Alderman Wilson, Alderman Chapman. We put a lot of work in the evaluating everything, and appreciate all you've done since then. But I just want to explain my vote. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, you're welcome. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay?
No.
Ayes have it.
Next item on the agenda is 2.2, approve the final request to authorize the mayor and city clerk to utilize.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get it. Those two votes.
How did? Well,
That was all.
all right, 2.2.
Next, approve decline request, authorize the mayor and city clerk to utilize modernization use tax funds to purchase equipment identified during the contract negotiations for the operations and maintenance of the water, sewer, natural gas systems, as well as the streets and drainage systems and other systems for the city of Moss Point, and to advertise for said equipment, submitted by Mayor Billy E. Knight Sr.
Motion to approve. Second. There's a motion by Alderman Leonard, and second by Alderman Chestnut. Is there any questions? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. What was over?
Mayor, I apologize. This is not about a debate. I just wanted something clarified because of the fact that Nick is here. Are we going to pay lump sum for all of it, or are we going to finance the equipment?
It'll be purchased cash. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And just so everybody knows, because we got representatives here, and I know we've approved it already, we're about to move on to the other business, but if you have, Mayor, I don't know if you have any questions or whatever, and I know Steve has to leave here at 5:35 as our engineer. Are there any questions about any of this before we move on to the other contract issues?
Sure, yeah, that's kind of why I mentioned early in the opening statement, I wanted everybody to feel free to ask questions because I want everybody to be comfortable with what we're doing here. So we need to ask these experts to deal with this everyday questions.
Okay.
2.3.
2.3, approve to find the lowest and best quote for the 800 Jefferson Street cleanup. On February 3rd, 2026, the Board of Aldermen declared the property a menace to the public's health and safety in order to set property cleaned and returned to the natural state without any further notice to the property owner. The original quote was awarded to TriStar Demolition in the amount of $2,500 for cleanup only, submitted by Marcus Ketchaw, and the agenda should reflect planning director as opposed to building official. I didn't point that out, but the two bids received, one is from R&A Construction for $4,850. The other is from J.E. Telling for $5,950. So the lowest on this particular project would be the R&A Construction at $4,850. The other contractor opted not to provide the service.
Motion to approve. Motion working on this for about 8.
Motion. Second about Dubose. The question?
Thank you.
No, second about Stratford. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
Next item, 2.4, approve decline the lowest and best quote for 4436 Blackwell Street demolition and cleanup. On February 3, 2026, the Board of Aldermen declared the property a menace to the public's health and safety in order to set property demolished and returned to natural state without any further notice to the property owner. The original quote was awarded TriStar Demolition at $4,290 for demolition and cleanup, submitted by Marcus Ketchup, planning director. And for this particular one, the R&A Construction bid $5,900, J.E. Tally bid $8,500. So R&A Construction Inc. would be the low bid, $5,900.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Alderman Wilson.
So moved.
Alderman Bradford. Second by Alderman Wilson. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
That's all on the special call agenda, Mayor.
I would just like again thank Paul, the regional manager, for coming down from Clearwater. The team over here, thank you guys for being here. Steve, we can't thank you enough for all the work you did on behalf of the engineering firm. Thank you so much. Nick, I want y'all to know Nick made a special trip over here. He just happened to be in Biloxi for another meeting, but been a long day for him. So Nick, thanks for coming over, and thanks for you and Sue are doing with us. Let's get this to really explain this modernization money, so we know that that we're doing the right thing. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Okay,
I agree with you, Mr. Mayor. Steve, you did a great job, man. There's no saying that the devil is in the details. I'm a believer that salvation is in the details as well. You did a good job with making sure we had all of our concerns addressed in there. Appreciate it.
motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.